I love reading, but why do I read? Why do I love reading so much? And I think me giving the answer to this is going to hopefully inspire you to enjoy it just as much as I do, if not more. And maybe we can just share a collective experience if you are already sold on reading. But I got this question today in a comment, and I figured I would delve into it in much more detail than just simply replying back. But if you're watching this video, thank you for the video idea. So why I like reading so much is I think attention is kind of the most important thing we have. I think if you can put your attention to something worthwhile, if you could put your time, energy, and effort into things that are beneficial to you, then you could surely change your life and surely change it for the better. But our attention's all but captured today. Talk to an average person. Can you even speak to them without them checking their phone? Can you even converse with somebody without them bringing out a political idea that was imparted, that was inculcated to them by social media or by the powers that be? And I think we really need to start winning back our attention. I think we really need to start taking back our focus. And that's not necessarily the only reason I like reading, but that's certainly the most practical benefit of it, is that it retrains your brain to be bored. It retrains your brain to understand delayed gratification. It retrains your brain to invest time, energy, and effort into something, and it forces you to be creative. It forces you to capture the images in your brain. It forces you to think about something instead of just looking at a screen and watching it. That's why movies are never as good as the book, because if you like the movie, then you're going to enjoy the book so much more, because it's the same content, but it's you creating it. You impart your own aspect of yourself onto the story, so you become part of the story. Versus if you watch the screen, you're just seeing someone else's adaptation. And really, that's the most beautiful aspect of reading, is that it allows your brain to think in ways that you've never thought of. It allows you to expand your perspective. It allows you to see someone else's experience and see more about the world. It truly is one of the most rewarding things, and it's one of those things that you get better with at time. Like the more I read, the more I understand what I read. The faster I can read, the easier it becomes. The more I want to pick up a book, because I can pick up a book in 5 minutes, read 10 pages, and that might take someone else 10 minutes, maybe an hour. I don't know how slow people are at reading, but it's just a skill that you get better and better and better at. And when you get to the level where it's easy and it's fun, it's the most enjoyable thing in the world, because you know how often are we allowing ourselves to just be alone with our own thoughts? How often are we allowing ourselves to form our own thoughts and direct our attention into things that you know we have control over, we can in somewhat dictate, versus just mindlessly scrolling? And I think that was really the biggest change that I made in my life, is that my screen time was so much. Every time I would have downtime, I would pick up my phone, I would go on Instagram, I would go on TikTok, I'd go on Twitter or X, whatever you want to call it, and I would just waste away, like consuming someone else's idea of the world versus forming my own, versus picking up things and learning and experiencing. And in 10, 15 minutes of time that I'm waiting for the doctor, or waiting for my food, or sitting in my car outside the gym, like I can learn something, I can enjoy something, I can get back to that stage of childlike curiosity, and a way in which you view the world, where you view it with hope instead of you view it with depression and nihilism and pessimism and all sorts of negative beliefs about things. And hopefully this little experience that I tried to share with you is something that you can resonate with and something that you can grasp from. But I think it truly is a really important thing to start picking up. I truly think that if you can take back your attention, and if you can work on your imagination, and if you can work on your creativity, then you can do absolutely anything in this world. And your mind is very powerful if you set it to something, but far too few of us, and myself included, aren't setting ourselves up in the right way. We're not directing our attention to things that are fruitful. We're not directing our attention into creative endeavors that can transform the way in which we live, that can transform the way in which we approach the world. And we're limitless beings, limiting ourselves through the things that we're consuming, through the things that we are putting our attention to and our focus to. And don't just take my advice for it. Read such works such as Huxley, or William Blake, or Dante, or Khalil Gibran, or Emily Dickinson, or the list goes on and on and on about people that will show you this idea, that people that will explain this idea to you through their writing. And yeah, the last thing I want to leave you with is there are things that have been written down that you have rejected, but once you read them, you understand that that's an idea that I once held, but I wasn't strong enough to believe it. I didn't have the fortitude to accept it. I didn't have the fortitude to look myself in the mirror and say, you know what, this is right, and regardless of what other people say, I do not care. And that's really the greatest aspect of it, is that reading reveals our true character. It reveals what we really believe. It shows us through, synthesizing other people's ideas, our true thoughts about things and our true thoughts about the world. So hopefully this was a good answer. Hopefully this was it's something that you could take anything away from. I don't know if anything I just said made any sense, but that's just my thoughts on things. So with that said, I love you guys so much. Thank you guys so much. Peace out. I'll catch you in the next one. Wrong button.